This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
You're always this stupid. It is you take lessons.
Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole. No, you're fine. Okay, so we are going to do a quick Q as in cucumber only because the Theranos stuff fucking popped off this week.
I hate her.
And we're just going to do like a quick... I know,
Laura was telling me she broke you.
I did. I totally broke. She was like, oh my God, I fucking hate her so bad. I was like, oh God. Happened. Okay, so we'll do this real quick. So, we actually have a guest with us today. So, welcome to Q's and Cucumber, the podcast where we point and laugh at stupid companies, customers, and coworkers alike. I'm Lara Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
And I'm Jessica James.
Look at that, bitches. Make sure that
it's a Jessica.
Jessica is here because we are doing a deep dive on a topic. However, we're going to record a quick Q's and Cucumber simply because the Elizabeth Holmes stuff got a little crazy this week. We'll just zip through it real quick. Okay, so this is from the New York Times by Erin Griffith and Erin Wu.
Woo.
Both of you are stupid.
Woo!
Both of you. Woo!
Sorry.
Okay. Wade McQuillan, maybe? Wade McQuillan and Nimesh, maybe it's Javari, two former Walgreens executives, offered a similar tale. As part of a partnership deal, Walgreens agreed to pay Ms. Holmes an innovation fee of $100 million and invest $40 million in securities that could convert into equity.
I need these dudes to call me because I think of shit all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. First of all, what do you mean an innovation? If I'm
the night I was high as shit and I was thinking of all kinds of stuff. I actually thought of I'll tell you.
Okay. You're so stupid. So, I don't understand. You're reaching out to a company that you are building a partnership with that's developing something brand new, and they want you to pay an extra fee for the innovation. Isn't the company the innovation? I don't understand
I thought that
why this is a separate fee.
Like, the idea that she had, because that's about all it fucking was, right? Was an idea.
Right.
I thought that the idea was the innovation. So they're paying her extra because the bitch, a light bulb went off on top of her head? Is that it?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, hit me up, whatever your names are, because I got all kinds of fucking ideas.
Right?
So we got more details. If you remember, the Pfizer report, because one of the things we talked about last week was that during the opening statement, the prosecution laid out that there was a report that was passed around to potential investors that was on top of Pfizer letterhead, saying that Pfizer had fully reviewed the product, the machine, and that it had superior performance. However, this was a completely forged document. Right. And my question at the time was, who would have done that? You can't blame that on some lowly lab tech or your secretary. Who was putting together presentations for investors? Pretty sure it wasn't somebody below you that you can you can pin it on.
Schmuck in the office. Hey,
thank you.
Here's some facts. Put it together.
Thank you.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Bull fucking shit.
That's not how that works.
They went into more details this week. They actually talked about it because that was just during the opening statements. Get this shit. That Pfizer report was 55 pages long. That is not like a 4-page, we just slapped it together, not
That's
thinking.
Some shit that took some thought.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. 55 pages, fuck off. And it wasn't just Pfizer. It said it was Pfizer, GlaxoSmithKline, and Shearing Pluff.
Shearing Pluff.
That sounds like a horrible porn company.
Shearing Pluff.
These are all pharmaceutical companies. Oh my God. Theranos used the report to solicit investors. One of the things that should have tipped them off, though, was there were a bunch of typos and misspellings. Apparently, one of them misspelled the word institute. So apparently she dropped out of Stanford before they went over, spell check. I guess.
If there's a red squiggly line, sweetheart, check it.
Thank you. That's what that means.
That's what that means. Fucking these people get paid more than me. That's what kills me.
I know, don't irk you.
These people fucking piss me off. They get paid more than me.
Now, the lab tech at the beginning of the trial, who was the head of the lab, his name was Rosendorf, he was questioned a lot at the beginning of the trial, and eventually he left. Now, I believe, if I remember correctly, at some point he testified that he made like $250,000 a year. He was one of the highest paid people there, right? They replaced him with another guy after he quit because he was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, and he felt he was going to be held liable.
Yeah.
And sure as fuck, they're trying to blame him. But his replacement was a person who was a dermatologist. He wasn't an expert in laboratories, in pathology, in nothing. And he was his qualifications was he was Sonny Balwani's personal dermatologist for like 15 years. So now get this. I don't know if they were paying him the same amount, the $250,000, but over the almost year that he worked for them, he went into the office twice. He said in that year, you know how many hours he worked?
9, probably.
10.
Wow.
So in a year of working there, he was just there to sign his name. And he did. He rubber stamped all of so if the other lab tech or the lab director that they got, they were trying to get him to like defend shit and he couldn't.
Right.
And eventually I feel like they were like, well, these experienced people, they ask too many questions and they won't just do what we tell them to do. If we just get a name that's willing to sign, then we can run it the way we want to run it.
So that's what this guy was.
Yeah.
He was just there.
10
hours.
hours.
Shut his mouth. He was there to shut his mouth and sign papers.
And we don't know how much money he made for that 10 hours.
No, but I know that the person before him was $250,000. So even if it was half for 10 hours of work, I'm available.
Right.
I got a free 10 hours.
Right?
Right. I won't even keep my real job. I'll just hang out with y'all for 10 hours a month or a year or whatever you want me to do.
For 10 hours a week, for $250,000 a year, I would totally do it. Like, I'll do 52 times what he did in a year.
Right.
And I'm all about it. Okay, weirdos.
I want that job.
Thank you. He said he never interacted with patients, physicians, or Theranos lab employees. Lance Wade, Miss Holmes' lawyer, argued he only had to be there as needed and delegated his responsibilities to Theranos' full-time employees. I guarantee you, even if all you were doing was delegating for a year, it still would take more than 10 hours.
Right.
To delegate.
Yeah.
Just the delegation should have taken more time. What are you talking about? That's a ridiculous argument. In a separate Zoom hearing on Thursday, Ms. Holmes' lawyers opposed 2 reporters who covered Theranos. Okay, there's been 2 journalistic issues. In one case, Magistrate Judge Nathaniel Cousins granted John Carreyrou, the reporter who first exposed Theranos' problems in the Wall Street Journal, access to the courtroom. Ms. Holmes had listed Carreyrou as a potential witness, which would normally prevent him from hearing testimony. His lawyer argued for an exception, saying Ms. Holmes had listed Mr. Carreyrou to keep him from the courtroom out of bad faith and animus. John Klein, Ms. Holmes' lawyer, declined to say whether the defense would actually call him as a witness. They put him as just out of spite. They put him on the list so he can't be in there.
So he can't be in there, so he can't report anything.
Exactly.
That is some shit.
It's just petty bullshit.
And these are the kind of people that get away with this shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are the kind of people that get away with this shit. And then somebody like me try to, run a fucking stop sign, and I've got a $400 ticket and a warrant in no time.
Yeah.
So separately, Judge Cousins ordered that Roger Parloff, a Fortune reporter, would not have to turn over his reporting notes. Roger Parloff was the guy who launched her. Like, he wrote the article on the Fortune magazine cover that introduced her to the world, right? They wanted him to turn over his notes from the first magazine cover story. Mr. Klein said the defense wanted to use Mr. Parloff's notes to show the jury that he was biased. If you read that article, he was biased to her. He presented her in the most flattering light. What are you talking about? But Judge Cousins called the defense's move a fishing expedition and said basically, fuck off, no.
Fuck off, no.
Oh, back to the dermatologist dude. During cross-examination Friday, Holmes' attorney pointed out that there was another contractor lab director at the time named Lynette Sawyer, and questioned whether DeJuan, who's the dermatologist, hadn't really done much on an as-needed basis for Theranos because the company was relying on Sawyer. DeJuan testified, "I don't know who they were calling. I have no clue. I worked for these people for 10 hours for a year. I don't know what they were doing," basically. DeJuan's involvement ramped up slightly ahead of the September 2015 regulatory inspection. DeJuan testified he signed nearly 60 documents at the company's request on a Saturday ahead of the inspection, which took place days later. He was in attendance for the first of the 2-day inspection, he said, which was also the first time he met Holmes. Sometime shortly after, he stopped hearing from the company, he testified. They didn't even fire him. They just stopped calling him. They ghosted him.
Yeah.
Gotcha. This I thought was interesting. Outside of the presence of jurors, Holmes' attorneys had fought to ensure that they would not learn about the hundreds of millions of dollars that Safeway had spent renovating the stores in anticipation of bringing Theranos blood testing to its stores. Once again, as you and I talked about this with all the stuff they got excluded, they wanted to exclude talking about motive.
Yeah.
They asked to exclude everything. Like, even if it sounds ridiculous, they asked. And one of the things they managed to get excluded was how much money Walgreens and Safeway were actually taken for a ride.
Yeah.
But the problem is, her lawyers, and you said this in one of our episodes, her lawyers forgot to redact one part of it, and they submitted something as evidence, and now they can talk about it.
Now so fuck off.
Because she fucked up.
I mean, whenever they redact that much, like when I watch like Rachel Ray and shit like that, and they show those redacted documents, who the fuck is going through there with the marker? Yeah. Because after a while, when you just be like, fuck, this is too much, I don't even. You're
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the last thing. This dude started testifying this week, and he's supposed to continue testifying next week. This is a friend of Christian Holmes, which is Elizabeth Holmes' brother, who was involved in the company at a certain point. This guy was a friend of his from Duke, and he was hired to manage the relationship between Walgreens and Theranos. And he was part of those demonstrations that they did for Walgreens, basically. Okay. And he said that he was involved with them, but Elizabeth basically ran them. He did not know that the demos were completely fake. Like, they were staged. They weren't real at all. He didn't know that until 2 years later.
Yeah.
And when he found out, he was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I did not know this. Now, her lawyers released a statement that I'm like, once again, who would have done this? Her lawyers released a statement saying, well, she didn't know they were fake.
Well, so how is she running a company but knew nothing about this?
Thank you. And this company that every single person you talk to flat out says, it was her.
Right.
It was all her. She was involved, like the receptionist for the front door, not even like her personal secretary. The receptionist was interviewed by Elizabeth Holmes. And she found out later the reason why was because nobody got hired without meeting with her. So you're telling me that you didn't know. Who would have made the tests fake?
Right.
If not you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. This doesn't pass like the simple logic test here. But this is her lawyer's argument, which I find to be fascinating. So that is what is going on with the Theranos stuff. So I apologize. We just had to do a quick little Theranos update. The dermatologist with only a few hours in the year, that just blew my brain.
I'm tired of fucking with you broke bitches all the time. I need some people who's going to do some underhanded shit so I can stop working.
I think we're about to get dumped, Jess.
I know, right? I'm like,
if I find some swarmy ass people.
I can be shiesty.
If you want us, you just have to call us and we'll be shiesty with you.
Right?
Okay?
We can have shenanigans and debacles and...
There you go.
Capers and whatnot.
We can do it together.
Me and my friend Kiki are...
Let's break the law as a trio.
Yes. Me and my friend Kiki are just like, damn, I wish we could figure out a good caper.
Yes. There you go.
I know, right? Caper.
Speaking of capers, we're about to do a deep dive on another caper. So we'll do that real quick. But Tanya she's about to be a grandma, like any minute now. So we may not have new episodes. We're recording a deep dive that kind of fits into both shows, The Parent Memoirs and Cues and Cucumber. So I'm going to be putting those out over the next few weeks. And hopefully that'll take up the time that Tanya is in grandma bliss.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Grandma time.
I really am. Like, I find myself now, like, I always sleep with my phone on my nightstand, but now I make sure that it's working properly and, that, you know, I have it turned all the way up, because normally I've been turning it down because people like to message me at 2 o'clock in the morning with the "what are you doings?" It's fucking Christopher.
Still? Wait, you still talk to him?
Wait, huh?
My neighbor.
I didn't know that.
Your old neighbor?
I didn't know that this person still existed in your life. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Tangent. Okay. What the hell's going on?
Nothing really.
Okay.
He wants it like he's in Chicago.
Nothing really. What does the really mean?
Because he keeps asking me to like come over and stuff, and I was like, I'm not gonna fucking come over to your house. And he was like, okay, well, let's go to the movies. And he wanted me to go see some fucking. What was this fucking movie with the Karate Man that just came out? The
the new
cartoon?
Marvel?
Whatever it is. Yeah,
cartoon?
that shit. Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
I don't know what the fuck it's called.
The one with the rings? Like the...
I don't know.
Okay, all right, never mind.
know.
Anyways, going on.
I have no idea. So, and I was like, I don't want to go see some stupid Karate Man cartoon movie. So, and he's just like, okay, well, I'm going to Chicago, and I'll be back Sunday afternoon, so... You get off work, you maybe want to hang out for a while. Hang out? Like, what are you fucking talking about?
Okay, so hold on here. How long have you known this man for?
Oh my God.
It's been a minute, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, because I stopped working in 2012, and you were talking to him years before that.
Before I got married.
Before all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's still pestering your ass.
Yeah, like, and he knows everything that's happened, everything that's like, I've been sick, everything.
So, okay, now, devil's advocate here, maybe you should just give him a chance if he's still around.
That's what, yeah.
And if he's making suggestions for activities that you're not really interested in, why don't you set something up so that you know you're going to enjoy what you're doing?
Like, seriously, you keep saying, like, who would, once they know all this stuff about me, like, who would...
Knows.
But
He's
he
just
knows
like,
already, and he's still there?
But he's just so young, and his house is so dirty.
Okay.
Tanya, these are things you can...
I understand your standards. I understand.
We all understand your standards.
Does he know how to spell scallion?
Thank you.
I have to say, he's extremely intelligent.
Okay.
And that's like one of your biggest pet peeves is stupidity, right?
Yeah.
And does he have common sense?
Yeah. He has a job.
He has a good job.
He has his own car.
Yes, he does.
So, okay, so I understand that he's a little unhygienic in his own household,
but
people
you
do that.
Can help with that.
Nobody's
no,
fucking
that's not what we're saying, Tanya.
I'm not gonna go over there and clean his house.
No, but you can go over there and be like, dude, like, I'm willing to give this a chance, but you gotta put in some effort here, and if you want me to come over, you gotta clean this and not leave dried plates of spaghetti everywhere.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just
like lay out what you need from the. Seriously, well, I did not know that this was still a person in Tanya. For real,
your ass just got lectured.
I know. So
the parenting podcast, people.
All right, hold on.
Right. So when I went to that wedding, he had called me while I was there, and he's always FaceTiming me.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So I was just like. He was like, where are you? What are you all dressed up for? I said, oh, my friends got married today, so I had to go to a wedding. And he was like, oh, you could have told me, I would have went with you. The fuck for? So I was like...
As a companion, as a date. Tanya, come on. I know that like you have reservations about this guy, but you're still talking to him after all these years.
Oh my God.
I think he deserves some leeway, and I think he deserves a genuine chance.
And that's what Kiki and Twin keep telling me too. They're just like, you know what? So
well, now you've heard it from us, so fucking do it.
Thank you. It's 4-on-1.
And you're always complaining about not having stuff to do.
Listen to me. I don't think you have to leave your house. No. This man clearly will come to you.
I'm telling him where I live.
He used to be your neighbor. Like forever ago. Come on. Throw him a bone. And not a sexual one. Why don't you just be like, hey, let's meet at whatever restaurant at this time, have a meal. See how he behaves out in public. Maybe he won't be a sloppy eater as long as he doesn't slurp the noodles, right?
Half the battle of a relationship is, can you take this man out in public?
Yeah.
If you can take him out in public.
Such a pain in the ass.
Only because you're thinking about it like it is.
Only because you're thinking of it like it's a chore, when it could be something that brings you some joy.
Oh my God.
You know we wouldn't be saying this if we didn't love you.
I know.
He's known you for
a bazillion years.
A long time, Tanya.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that this isn't the first time that you've ignored a message from him.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And he still keeps messaging.
He does. Like, he'll message me and he'll be like, you tired of being mean to me yet?
Oh my God, Tanya.
So see, all right. So now then, I'm going to lay it out for you real good. Over the next 2 weeks, I want you to meet up with this man for dinner. Just dinner. He doesn't have to come to your house. You don't have to go to his. Pick a place. You arrange it. You be like, look, let's go out and have some dinner. Here's the place. Here's the time. In 2 weeks. And I want to hear about it.
There you go. So we got to move on or we're never going to get through this. Okay. So that is the Elizabeth Holmes stuff. We'll keep you guys. I'll do my best to keep you guys in the loop. I'll figure something out while Tanya's being grandma. So until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Tanya Edwards.
I'm Jessica James.
Love your faces.
Smooches.
Keep it sane.
Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasincucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.